Welcome back to the county seat. Our topic today is conventions and visitor bureaus and the things that counties are doing to bring tourism traffic to their counties, such as improvements in airports, commercial airliners, and things of that nature. Joining us for our conversation today is Joel Raker, who is the CEO of the Utah Valley Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we also have Julie Hollis, an old friend from Cache Valley, from the Cache Valley Visitor Bureau, and appreciate you both for coming down to the county seat today.
It's great to be here.
Thank you.
Let's just start the question with a general, what's going on in Cache Valley right now, Julie? What kind of activities is the Visitor Bureau engaged in the county?
Well, one of our greatest tourism anchors right now is in full force. That's the Utah Festival Opera and Musical Theater season. And that definitely brings more tourism to Cache Valley, considering the whole entire year than any other thing. It's a month-long season. We've got tons of performing arts going on, our heritage food tour, plus special events that go on all year long, a lot of athletic and outdoor events as well.
Raspberry shakes. I always think raspberry shakes.
Of course.
Joel, what kind of things are going on in Utah? I mean, you guys have got a lot of stuff happening right now with airlines and things of that nature.
It's a very busy time, very dynamic time in Utah County. We are excited. We're in the process of building our convention center. In fact, we just recently had a topping off event, which was kind of the milestone. The top of the building's done, and now they start enclosing it. We've also had Frontier Airlines that just recently began commercial service into Provo Airport from Denver. So it's an exciting time. There's a lot of things going on. We've got events going on throughout the summer. Freedom Festival occurred earlier this month, and that's big because that brings a lot of people in from all over the country that come in to visit family and friends. I mean, Utah Valley really is a gathering place where people come together and hold events.
I'm hearing a little pitch towards the slogan of your commercials.
Oh, was I? No, but our research has really shown that it really is. I mean, it's in the heart of the state. It's a great place to come together. I mean, tourism is one of our industries in Utah Valley. I mean, heaven knows we have a lot of other things going on down there between the universities and high tech and everything else. But tourism is a big industry for Utah Valley.
I can see Julie in Logan's going, ditto that, university, ditto that.
It's kind of one of the unsung heroes of economic development, I think. A lot of the citizens are not aware of what a huge economic impact that tourism has on them personally as citizens in the state, and just what it is that we bring to them through tourism.
Yep.
Recently, the state did some research, and they showed that tourism in the state of Utah generated $625 million to taxes throughout the state. $703 of tax relief for each household that would have to be paid otherwise if those tourism tax didn't come in. And it's clean dollars too, because these people visit our communities, they spend their money, and then they go out, and then they leave. We don't have
you guys sound like you're from Oregon, both of you.
We don't have to educate them. We have to have roads and other things to accommodate them coming in, but it really is a very clean industry.
So some people, and I know this became an issue in Utah County in the last elections, but this is really to both of you. Some people would argue that that tax dollars, you're charging, the tax revenue is, if those who are regular watchers of the shows know that it comes from a restaurant tax and from a room tax, and they're two separate taxable entities. And the locals go, well, we're paying restaurant tax to support an effort to bring tourism in. Is this an appropriate function of county government?
Well, I mean, again, county government is one of their primary purposes is to help facilitate and to help things happen. With the restaurant tax dollars, yes, it's 10 cents on every $10 bill. It's a 1% tax. And most of that money, if not almost all of it in Utah County, currently is used for quality of life. I mean, the trail systems and parks, and they grant it out to the communities. So it goes back to the benefit of the citizens. Whereas the tourism or the transient room tax, which is collected on the backs of the travelers that stay in the hotels, those are the dollars that the county uses to do the promotion and the marketing that our organization uses. So there are two different taxes. There's also a piece in there that oftentimes doesn't get talked about, and that's the car rental tax. And so the taxes that are collected when people rent cars at the Salt Lake Airport, counties get a portion of that tax. And
is that distributed through all the counties?
It's distributed, yes, based on, I don't know exactly what the figure is, but they do get a portion of that. And that's part of the TRCC, which is the Tourism, Recreation, Cultural Convention, which is more commonly known as the restaurant tax.
Now, how are you guys apply your tax just a little, your TRCC a little bit differently? You fund a lot of, you do grant work with yours primarily, Julie?
Well, our county, the way that they've chosen to do it is they have the two different pools of funding. And then nonprofit organizations, they have to be a qualified 501c3, are then allowed to apply for these funds. And those are divided up into recreation, arts, parks, and zoos. And they can use those funds for building trails, other quality of life issues, funding for example, some of the arts organizations. My office is actually allowed to apply for those funds as well to help with our marketing efforts. So we get some funding through that as well.
Oh, okay. How hard is it to market out? I mean, you know, you've got Life Elevated coming from the state. Mm-hmm. And you've got all these avenues and revenues or sources of communications to try and bring people in to your county specifically. How hard is that?
I see that, you know, Utah Valley, Utah County, mm-hmm. is not necessarily on the map of somebody in the Midwest or on the map of somebody in the Northeast. The state of Utah may very well be. I mean, we've got wonderful national parks, we've got all these wonderful things that may be on people's bucket lists. So we see it really as a true partnership with the Utah Office of Tourism, where they will advertise on a broader scale, and then Julie and I, we focus on getting people's attention drawn to our area or our county, where hopefully they'll spend a night, spend a couple days going to the festivals and events up there in Cache Valley, have one of those raspberry shakes, you know, and Utah County come down there, whether they're visiting the museums or visiting Thanksgiving Point or attending a convention at our convention center, and you have a convention center up there also. So mm-hmm. really, I see that as a partnership, how they work together to draw attention to the state, and then we hope that they'll carve out time to spend in our counties.
Now, there are some people who have advocated that these regional and county by county travel bureaus should all be folded into the state and let the state use all the money. And I'm going to toss that one out. I didn't say I advocated it, but what is the disadvantage to doing that?
I'll tell you what I think the disadvantage is. In the past, well, it's very difficult for the state because we're so diverse. We have so many great things that could be marketed. But in the past, before we were able to increase the amount of money that was put toward marketing, the state was forced to choose what they would brand. And there are basically two things that they branded: skiing and Red Rock. I have one ski resort that's small, but it's not incorporated with the larger groups. And so I'm kind of left out of the picture. If I'm able to keep my own funding, then I'm able to specifically identify demographics and particular markets that I want to target, that I know that will be fruitful and bring the most economic development and benefit for my county, as opposed to just being held under an umbrella that's going to emphasize a lot of things that I don't have to take advantage of.
I think she said it very well. That is the truth. I mean, in that you know, there are states that do that. I was over in Hawaii a few months ago, and I reached out to my counterpart that runs the Maui Convention and Visitors Bureau, and she helped me understand that they are all under the Hawaii Office of Tourism, that they are just an office of that organization. But they have their own budget, they promote. I mean, you have to do something to get people to come to your area so that your citizens and your county gets that economic impact.
Well, I think one of the things I'd like to discuss, and we'll probably hold this off till after the commercial break, is the necessity of getting this kind of information out and you know, what the spillover is. I think that's the thing we're looking for, is how many times does that tourism dollar cycle through your county? And we'll address that when we come back on the County Seat in just a minute.
How would you spend an extra day in Utah Valley? Stay one more day. Visit utahvalley.com to make reservations. Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.
In order for there to be adventure, there must first be a land that offers it. In order for there to be discovery, there must first be something undiscovered. It's time you discovered northeastern Utah's dinosaur lands, the trails, water, beauty, and history that have been 65 million years in the making. Take your journey to a destination where adventure is only limited by your imagination. Join us in Uinta County, Undiscovered Utah.
Take a look, take a glimpse, take a peek. You'll be surprised by what you find. Join us August 4th through the 6th for the 2011 Tooele County Fair. Enjoy live entertainment, classic car show, rodeo, demolition derby, and more. Head to TooeleFair.com for tickets and more information. Adventure, beauty, excitement. Tooele County Parks and Recreation, bringing communities together.
The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration. SITLA manages 3.5 million acres of Utah lands with the express purpose of furthering the education of Utah students while promoting local industry, oil and gas, even residential development, all at the same time. Through the careful use of trust lands, we distributed more than $22 million to Utah schools last year. The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration, building the state's permanent school fund.